just people are like, oh, why is that happening? It's already, past now.
Yeah.
Good evening, everybody. The time is now 7:30, so this meeting will now come to order. Would anyone like to utilize open forum at this time?
Or in agriculture? Yeah, so I hope everyone's still recovering from our early exit in March Madness. But my purpose in coming up here really is because as a student senate, we sit in a rare position where we have the ability to enact real change about stuff that's going on in the state. There's legislative policies recently passed, Senate Bill 129 or anti-DEI legislation was passed. And so as a student senate, we actually have a voice in how these programs will move forward. So really my coming up here is to say, there's a lot of misconceptions and a lot of lack of information about regards to anti-DEI bill, a lot of things like that. A lot of people don't understand it's actually up to the discretion of the university to whether or not keep these programs in place, whether or not they will not receive state funding. But today I met with the DEI committee at 4:30. We talked about what are practical and tangible ways that we can actually, create change that ensures that we keep that, celebrate that rich diversity that Auburn cares about. And so, you'll hear from Pedro later in her committee report. We had lots of great ideas and great discussion about, what exactly do we want to do as students moving forward? How is Auburn's voice as the student body going to be represented in this? And I understand there's some initiatives behind the scenes, things like that to ensure, the student body is heard. But really, I want to talk about, what did we think about? I wanted to get the ball rolling on, potentially what we all thoughts on things like this, how this can actually impact us. Had a meeting with the director of the Higher Education Partnership for the state of Alabama today, and we talked about there's a higher education partnership amongst all public universities. So I told him about, hey, what are steps that public universities can actually take moving forward to ensure that their voice is represented? And he was pretty supportive of this. Someone who I was not expecting, to receive great feedback from. This is something that he was, all on board for. I'm working in his office this summer in Montgomery. And so he was thinking about putting a task force amongst all the public universities and private universities. But also we're thinking about utilizing events such as like a town hall or an open forum where we can really, let people know how is this bill going to affect Auburn University, how is the administration going moving forward, and we can really gain student impact, input, and what they actually truly think about this bill to ensure everyone's heard. I hope you understand my sincerity behind this. I truly come up here because I want diversity to be celebrated at Auburn University. These programs are essential in ensuring that people are accurately represented, especially at a PWI like Auburn University, where 80% of the student population is white and 2% of our student population is black. So this is just seriously just something that I hope that we can do something moving forward, whether that be an initiative through the DEI committee, a resolution proposed by the Senate, or other ideas that y'all propose. However, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Senator Martin. Would anyone else like to utilize open forum at this time? All right, seeing that no one else would like to utilize it, we will now go into the approval of the minutes. The minutes were sent out electronically last Tuesday. Are there any corrections to be made to the minutes? All right, seeing none, the minutes are now marked as approved and corrected, and we will now move into reports from our officers, beginning with our president.
Everybody, hope everybody had a good week. And there we go. So I'm gonna run through a few things. So office hours this week, just this Thursday, from 12:30 to 3:30, I'll be in the involvement suite. I'm also meeting with President Roberts on Friday. We have a one-on-one. So anything that I'm getting an agenda together for him on issues that I want to bring up with him. And I want to hear from y'all about what y'all want in his year So you can reach out to me anytime, talk to me after the meeting, talk to me during office hours about that. I would love to talk through some things that I can bring up with him. Thomas is going to talk more about this later, but we had a meeting with the Student Center team last week to discuss a few projects. Do you have the slides with everything with that?
I can send it to you.
Okay. We want to go through a certain project that we're looking at. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Yeah. Carrie, can you send that to? Thanks. Thomas. So just to give you a little bit of background on this project. So it's called like the Student Center. It's like an outdoor study space, but it's more like a patio area. There's a few different phases to it. So you can kind of see in this one, this is one of the phases. Just to show you where we're at. So this is like the steps up to Chick-fil-A. Starbucks is right here. Game room is back there. So that area, having that shaded ivy kind of riser things. There's like 4 of them. We've got a lot of feedback about how you go out there in the middle of the day and you can't see your computer because it's so bright out there and it's so hot. And so we want to have more study space that's outdoors because we think one of the best parts of Auburn is our campus, and celebrating that and getting to study outside is one of my favorite things. You got it? Yeah. Here you go. But this will really give you a lot more context. There's also, yeah. You can get the nice. Should I scroll through? Yeah, there you go. A little bit better view. You can get a nice. Okay, so this is the like patio area. So the obby figure is right up there. So these steps, the way it is right now, that walkway when you get up to the student center, so it would kind of like even that walkway out, and this area would go in place of like kind of those bushes and whatever you walk through to get down to Starbucks. And then you can keep going. Yeah, so it's kind of like those terrace steps that are by Triple H, just on a smaller scale. Yeah, it's an overhead view. And then this is the other piece, is the video board that would go out there. We could have cabinet meetings out there. UPC would definitely use it a lot. But yeah, we want to get y'all's feedback on it.
Yeah, we want y'all's feedback on this, but essentially this has been a project in the works for several years. We think it's a great opportunity for SGA to back the project and get a little piece of the pie as far as who's getting credit for this. Just to show that the students want more outdoor study spaces, we want improvements to campus. This is kind of a way to do that. And also, Will's not here, but we have a lot of reserves sitting in our reserves. And we've kind of been encouraged to look at some capital projects. This has been one that's been in the works for a while now, and we feel as an exec team that this would be something good to look into. We definitely want y'all's feedback as we go through this process.
So, anybody have anything like initial response?
I think people would really love. I think it's awesome. The pictures look great. The seating like right outside where people are already at. Like a lot of people have like some issues with that. I think maybe like a first step would be really good to like replace some of those and then kind of like slowly move into this. I think that would be really cool. What was the ratio again of like how much we would be contributing with our reserves?
Yeah, so that's a great question. Obviously, like these are huge numbers. So the right around the $1 million mark is what's been thrown around for us right now. So the way this works is once it gets approved, it'll go to bid, and like a construction company will pick it up, and we'll usually take the lowest bid that we can get. And so we'll know more once that bid has gone out. But the number that we're around right now is about $1 million. So we'll know more about finances in the next coming months. Yeah, Jane.
So, for this plan right here, I'm assuming it's going to be divided into different phases of
Yeah.
when each one will be at. So, what's like the timeline for each one? Like, when do you think like you'll start, with like construction? all that type of stuff, and how would it affect like students like trying to get into the student center?
100%. Fantastic question. So that's what these shaded portions are, is the blue portion, the pink portion, and the orange portion. Obviously, the orange portion is going to have the most effect on traffic and foot traffic. The number I've heard is around 4 months from start to finish. So it'd probably be, if it got approved at the earliest time point, which is definitely a high possibility, the date they said was spring break next year, it would be completely finished. And then a concern that's been brought up is a lot of times, sometimes we estimate that it's going to be, a few years, and then it's not, it's a lot longer. But due to like how high traffic this area is, we believe that like the university really will hold them accountable to that timeline, because it is very important because of we have 1.3 million students going in and out of the student center every year. And that's, a lot different than like the Hill area, which there's like no one out there right now. So there's not like a ton of pressure to get that done, because that's, concern was brought up was like a timeline earlier. There's a lot of different factors that go into it. But we feel good about once they set that timeline that will be carried out.
What's like the handicap accessibility?
Yeah.
Sounds like a lot of stairs.
Yeah, that's a great question. I actually need to go back and look at that, because obviously we have this like ramp right here. And so, Hayden, can you go back to some of the other pictures? I want to look at the top up here. So obviously, I think this portion would definitely be handicap accessible. So if we were having like a movie night or something, it'd be accessible to them. But it definitely might be good to look into if we could get like some kind of ramp system down here so they can get down to this lawn area. But fantastic. Would y'all like enjoy this? Like, is this something that y'all would want to spend time in? Yeah. That's what I want to know. So yeah, we also think like game day, good potential. Luke.
So in some of these open grass areas, would you plan to have tables and seating in that area, or would that just be those grass slots?
We'd probably keep it as green space, to be honest. But we can definitely evaluate that in the future. Also, we're looking at turf for that area just because we know like how much foot traffic's going to be there. Yeah, so like kind of near, like the Target with that like parking deck, that turf, like that kind of turf.
Was that included in the, like, how much would that be more? Like, was that included in the initial?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. So. Great. Well, if y'all have any other questions, concerns, ideas to do with this, we just wanted to kind of give y'all a pulse on what we're talking about in exec meetings. Yep.
Wait, so is that like a covering thing gonna be built onto that existing like barrier?
Yes, I think so. Yeah. Yeah. Any other questions, concerns? Let us know. Yeah, like I was saying, I just wanted to give y'all kind of a idea of what we're talking about in meetings for like big capital projects and stuff that we're looking at putting in exec goals, which will be coming out soon. So yeah, thank y'all.
Thanks, Jack. Will has an exam that I believe has run long, so we can resume with his report whenever he returns, but for now, we'll move on to the EVP of Outreach.
Hey y'all, hope y'all had a great weekend. So for me, just right now, making sure we get one-on-ones with AVPs, make sure they're on what they need to be doing right now, and then cabinets getting filled out this week with director positions being filled. They're interviewing right now, so a little bit of a busy time for especially the AVPs. They're having a good time with it. So last week after Senate, I met with Phaedra to discuss some of our goals regarding mainly international students on campus. And it was just really cool to see where a lot of our goals lined up without us, like in our first meeting, like some stuff that we had discussed with our exec team. And their committee had discussed, our goals kind of lined up. So that was really cool. Making sure we just set up the right meetings with people we need to set up meetings with. We talked about meeting with Dr. Flowers at the graduate school. So we've been sending emails out and trying to get in touch with him. And then also, we're hoping to get Mary Andrews on campus this semester, which would be cool. Have like a concourse type day with him, like Mocha's with Mayor or something. So get in touch with him. And then I have a meeting with our AU10 person in the chamber next Monday to kind of get the ball rolling on new initiatives that we need to be doing in AU10 for this semester. And then also some of the input. And then, International Student Advisory Group meeting on Wednesday. So looking forward to that, getting some more useful insight from them, and then talking about what we're doing for them as well. So that's all for me. Thank you all.
Mr. Lewis, now report from our executive team and staff.
Okay, kind of like George was saying, we have director interviews this week, so they started today, and they're going great so far, but they go until Thursday. I don't know if this has been brought up to you all yet, but final lecture is next week on, like, right before Senate at 7. So if y'all could come, that would be so awesome. One of the professors from the business school is going to be there, but you don't necessarily have to be a business student, but he's talking about leadership, so I think we could all benefit from that. And then cabinet retreat is next, well, I guess, wait, is that next week? I don't know. Anyway, it's April 7th. So we're really excited to have a full cabinet by the end of this week, and just get everyone together. Thank you all.
For exam. All right, Will's made from his exam, so we will review with our treasurer.
Hey y'all, this bit for me. April 1st is Regions on the Plains Day, and we're gonna work this week to kind of promote that. They do a decent bit for us, and I think a good thing we could do is help them. And it's just beneficial to our students. I went to the University Senate Teaching Effectiveness Committee last week to kind of express concerns about like iClicker and just added cost on students, and looking for alternatives to that, and just exploration of really something else that maybe a university could provide. And then I'm meeting with administration this week to explore the implementation of that financial wellness center. A lot of people are passionate about that, and I think that's something we can get done and would benefit really our entire student body. But thank you.
Thanks, so now report from our EVP of initiatives.
Hey guys, I'm Auburn. Well, so Jack and I met with Taylor Gillespie last week to discuss a lot of student center improvements. One of which we just showed y'all, so I won't spend too much more time on that. But looking at some other renovations like the Floyd desk, adding a business writing center, just a lot of cool things going on. One of which we're gonna add, there's gonna be new ways to dress up the student center and just make it more inviting and more Auburn based. One of which being a traditions area. So I kind of wanted to poll y'all about what traditions y'all think should be featured in this area. What Auburn traditions? I'll open it up to anybody. Okay.
Rolling Coopers.
Great day.
Yeah. I think the ring ceremony is pretty cool. A lot of people know about it. So we'll take that back to Taylor. Then meeting with Glenn Lowridge this week with Jack to discuss some dining initiatives. Y'all have anything that you want to bring to that meeting? I'd be happy to do that. So just text me or find me after the meeting. Thank you.
Thanks, Thomas. Now we'll make a report from our standing committees, beginning with academic affairs.
Marino Education. Hey everyone, hope y'all had a wonderful weekend. So our meeting last week was super awesome. Everyone's just kind of started picking their projects that they want to start. So I'm just gonna share a few of them to brag on my team because they're so awesome. Carson received feedback from pharmacy school students about parking, so I think she's really kind of going in, honing on the parking services. So I think she's really excited about that, and I'm excited to see what she does with that. Timmy is working on graduate school and just kind of marketing that to more Auburn undergraduate students. So she kind of has this idea of having an open forum for different specific majors like COSAM, business, engineering, etc. Just having a town hall-esque kind of thing so that undergraduate students can kind of ask graduate students about their program and kind of what they do, and specifically COSAM majors they're not just your lab TAs and your lab GAs and stuff like that. So I think that's really awesome. Reed is researching and kind of working on developing an AI statement in syllabi. I think that's really coming to be in a really important cause, and I think that's awesome. And then Slate is working on primarily academic advising and just seeing ways that we can improve that for students and the betterment of class registration and other areas like that. And then Anna is working on focusing on Dean's List college letters. So there are some colleges that don't send out letters to students congratulating them for making the Dean's List for the first time. And so I think she's doing more research on that, which is super fun. And then, yeah, that's all from us, but can't wait to meet y'all tonight, or can't wait to meet with y'all tonight and talk more.
Thanks, Sophie. Now report from our budget and finance committee.
Hey everybody, hope you all had a good week. Good weekend, not much for me. We'll have a meeting this week to kind of get the ball rolling on the budget and finance process. So that'll be a good time. I have two pieces of legislation coming to the floor tonight, both future orders. One is a PEF and one's an RFR. So give them a read and let me know if they have any questions. Thank y'all. Have Easter.
Thanks, Carter. Now report from our Code of Laws committee.
Hey y'all, Laney, COSAM. We have one bill coming across the floor tonight as a current order of business, and then we have 3 bills coming across the floor as future orders of business tonight. We have a couple of nominations, and then one bill that is going to go over the timeline for the homecoming election. Excited for those coming across the floor, and then I'm gonna copy Sophie and talk a little bit about my team's goals for this year. So the first thing I've assigned each person titles to write summaries for, just to make the code more understandable for the common student, right? Those of us who are on Code of Laws, maybe it's a little hard to understand sometimes. And then in my meeting with Kara last week, I got a few ideas from her, and I was able to assign those to my committee as well. So look forward to look for those in the coming weeks. Thank you. Hope you have a great week.
Thank you. Now report from our DDM committee.
Peter, engineering. Hey y'all, a couple updates for me. With this week, with Alabama going ahead and passing SB 129, I just want to go ahead and kind of let you guys know about what's been going on from the administration side of things and the student side of things. So the administration has gone ahead and created a task force, not only with the provost, but other higher ups as well. And they're going to be having students sit in on those. That way they can go ahead and communicate what is going on from the state side of things, but also how it is that Auburn is responding to this. So there's a couple of things that we discussed with the committee in our meeting today, also concerning some of the things that we would love to see come from that motion as well. But if you guys have any questions or suggestions concerning how it is that you think that the student senate can give back to that as well, please reach out to me or any member of my committee. So some members of my committee are also working on a couple different things. We went ahead and signed projects for the year, some of those including international students, which you heard mentioned earlier, and then talking about housing, how that is at work. So we met today with Buckley and talked about how it is that we can go ahead and set that up for them, considering that right now it's a very big issue. And then also student well-being and mental health support program and expanding that tab within campus, and then also bridging between identity-based orgs, especially when it comes to SB 129.
Thanks, Deidre. Now we're going to receive the previous committee.
Hey y'all, a lot going on in student affairs. Last week we had a meeting with dining admin, which was very productive. They were very receptive of our feedback and shared kind of their vision for the near future and then kind of bigger picture. So expect a lot to come out of that in that relationship. Also expecting to set that up as a weekly or regular meeting. So if you ever have any ideas or issues with dining, let us know. We meet regularly. Also looking into some improvements to the rec, some other health and wellness stuff, and doing that. Like Peter said, Buckley's collabing with DEI, working on some international housing things, and looking to meet with Auburn Global about that, to just kind of figure out some things with that and some difficulties that those students face. Beyond that, I'm sorry to lose my train of thought. I'm sorry. Athletics, working on some stuff for international students as well, to help them understand the game of football. Because we know that could be a big struggle for people coming in, never seen it before. But yeah, if y'all need anything or have any ideas, please find me, text me, email me, or someone on my committee. Thanks. Oriole.
Thanks, now we're going to our executive session.
Zellner, at-large, no report.
Awesome. Now we'll move into reports from our liaisons, beginning with honors.
Ashley, Honors Congress. All right, so it's been a busy week for the Honors College and Honors Congress at large. Last week, we hosted 2 information sessions for study and travel opportunities, which is one of the mainstays of the Honors College. And the Honors College also just came out with discussing that they're having a honors distinction with the College of Human Sciences Italy program. The Joseph Bruno program there is now going to be offered in an honors lens as well. They also hosted a virtual information session on last Thursday for the Fulbright Scholarship Program, which is a big deal for the Honors College as well, with promoting that scholarship opportunity. The Honors Congress participated in the big event on Saturday, and Honors Serves hosted a general meeting. This week is formal week for the Honors College. The Honors Congress every year promotes and really carries out the spring formal for all honors students. So that's on Saturday, and leading up to that, we're having 5 different events, once a week, to promote that, which the theme is Hollywood. And then Diversity and Honors has a game night on Tuesday.
Thanks, Victoria. Now report from our BSU liaison.
Me, BSU, no report.
Thanks, Portland. Now report from our ASBA liaison. Oh, and they seem to not be here. What about our ROTC liaison report?
ROTC, no report.
Thanks, Shane. All right, seeing that no other liaisons are present, we will move into our current orders of business. First on the docket is PSSB 2403-1801, brought to you by Senators Laney and Heath.
Lady, go Sam.
I ask for approval of the following. Liaison shall be permitted to attend any meetings of the standing or special committees within the student senate. I move to pass this bill as written.
Is there a second? It's been moved and seconded to adopt the bill just read. Is there any debate? All right, seeing no debate, we'll move into a vote. If you would all pull out a piece of technology to vote on canvas with.
You're still late.
All right, it seems that the ayes have it, and this bill has been adopted. We will now move into our future orders of business, beginning with PSSB 24032501, brought to you by Senator Lee.
Lady Kosam, I ask for approval of the following: MK McGruder, College of Nursing.
Are there any questions on this future order? All right, seeing no further questions, we will move into our next future order of business, which is PSSB 24032502, again brought to you by Senator Lee.
Lady Kosam.
And Senator Massey, excuse me.
Massey Kosam. I ask for approval of the following: Ray Martin, Executive Director of Elections; Bennett Harris, Assistant Vice President of Cabinet Administration; Catherine Turner, Assistant Vice President of Opportunities; Ali Grace Gentry, Assistant Vice President of Communications and Marketing; Elle Squires, Assistant Vice President of Media Operations; Allison Stubbs, Assistant Vice President of Academic Affairs; Owen Beaverstock, Assistant Vice President of Athletics; Vera Smithy, Assistant Vice President of Campus Life; Mary Holly Post, Assistant Vice President of University Operations; Joshua Duschendorf, Assistant Vice President of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion; Abby Hancock, Assistant Vice President of External Affairs; Elizabeth Casey, Assistant Vice President of Feedback and Assessment; Madeline Facto, Assistant Vice President of Outreach Programs; Haley Bergenthal, Assistant Vice President of Finance; Ellie Grace Crowder, Assistant Vice President of Auburn.
Are there any questions on this future order? Senator Young.
Are they gonna be present to like yield questions?
Yes, they'll be
Awesome.
present next week when it's a current order.
Gotcha.
Are there any further questions? All right, seeing none, we'll move into our next future order of business, which is PSSB 24032503, brought to you by Senator Lee.
It's sitting down from Lady Kosam, ask for approval of the following. This is basically just laying out the timeline for the Miss Homecoming election. I met with Wayne this past week, and we worked through this. So on Monday, April the 22nd at 4:45 p.m., Miss Homecoming nominations will be due. And then on Tuesday, August 20th, when we get back from summer break at 4:45 p.m., campaign registrations will be due. Tuesday, September 10th at 3 p.m. will be kickoff, and then on Friday, September 13th, from 7 to 5 will be voting day.
Are there any questions on this future order? All right, seeing none, we'll move into our next future order of business, which is PSSB 24032504, brought to you by Senator Lee.
In new business, I ask for the approval of the following: the allocation of $4,000 in program expansion fund to the sub-line item titled Leadership Training under the line item titled BBAM Food Drive to the service programs of the services portfolio. These funds would allow BBAM Food Drive executive board members to attend a yearly conference. Furthermore, this request covers the cost of hosting the annual Beat Auburn, Beat Hunger, Beat Bama Food Drive collaboration event.
Are there any questions on this future order? All right, seeing none, we'll move into our final future order of business, which is PSSB 24032505, again brought to you by Senator Inman.
The approval following the allocation of $4,370.50 reserve fund to the sub-line item titled Publicity under the line item titled BBAM Food Drive of the service programs budget. These funds would cover the cost of t-shirts, cups, and flyers passed out to the Auburn Jungle at the home opener for the men's basketball season.
Are there any questions on this future order? All right, seeing none, that concludes our future orders of business for the night, so I will move into announcements. If you have yet to take your Senate test retake, so you were reached out to by either myself or Jamie, and you have not scheduled your retake or have not had the chance to make it up there, please stay after tonight, and you're gonna take it tonight because that is a requirement that's set forth by the code of laws that needs to be fulfilled. So make sure that you are sticking around for that. And then again, kind of as Forrest Ann was saying earlier, the final lecture is a lecture that is elected by students during spring elections. So it is highly encouraged and expected that all current members of SGA will be present to support that professor that was elected. So please make a plan to be here at 7 p.m. next week, and then concluding the lecture, we will move into our regularly scheduled meeting. That is all I have for you this week. Y'all have a great week. Where you go?
Jonathan. Yep.
Oh my God.
Emma. Okay.
Last year?
Thank you.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that guy was awesome. Yeah, that guy was fun. Huh? I don't even remember the guy with the ponytail. Yeah.